This is the test um, server and a client for this project. So basically, uh, I have here nodejs working installed. So I have Node version 10.0.21, and then the scripts is basically an Express. Express is a framework, web framework, much more like a PHP or CFC or ASP, but this one is more kind of inclined with Node.js, but it's alright. We're not really gonna use a lot of Express, but just the setting up the um, socket.io up. So basically, we're using Express.js. So if you need to know more about this, you can go ahead and go to I think it's just express.js uh, expressjs.com. So it's a web application framework for Node. All right. And then the client is basically just an HTML. As far as up, an HTML and some JavaScript. Sorry about that screen. Hold on. Let's see. Let me just clear this out. This version. All right. So let's fire out the server. Load up. Alright, so we have the socket.io started. This is the socket server that we just programmed, and it's currently listening on port 500. So this is the code for the server. Just few lines of code, and that's about it. So we set the port to 5000 rather, and we can point the port to any number that we want, and then some configurations here, and then we start listening. On start, we just load the app.html, which is the client, which is over here. So this is the client. Oops. Oh, by the way, these red logs here are not errors. They are, just info and debug notes. So don't be alarmed. So yeah, going back to the server. These are the main functions for the server. So it's really straightforward, as in it's like you're really writing an action script or JavaScript, but so basically straightforward programming, nothing confusing. So socket on, and then the function that being invoked by the client. So client got get news. This is just a test function, by the way. So socket emit, server got news, server test news from server. So what's happening here is basically, client get news is being invoked by the client, and then in return, this server then respond or emits a server got news event to the client, and in the client you'll see that same function is being handled. Server got news, like here, which is identical to the uh, function that the server emits. So basically we just pass in the parameter, the yeah, the payload for that event name. So got news function use, right, just basically display the news, or just write it in the document using jQuery. This is all the same um, pattern with all the back and forth communication with the server. So that's really all about it. It's very easy to use. This is free. You can host this on cloud, and cloud based with a installed uh, node server. We also have the so these are basically just different function names, event names. So client gets some data, and then second emit server got global data. So IO socket on, by the way, is this is the event when connection happens. So what I'm telling here is that when a client connects, I'm gonna initiate this event that the client can invoke, and then but initially I have this socket emit server got global data. Server got global data is it just displays the the data that I already have. So global data is basically we can manipulate this um, uh, data as cache data uh, coming from CFC, or any remoting or data sources. So what's happening here is that when the client connects, it's basically display in the this global data, as in when he logs in, he would immediately see what's the the data, and that will be for example in the case of this project sabongonline.com, we will see all the statistics, the stats, and and on the all the bets that's happening. So this is the example of this is the rendered code of the client. So let me just refresh this and see what's happening here. So connecting to server, it's really fast, sorry about it, but you see that it's already connected to the server, and then global data. This is the global data that is being emitted by the server, and you can see that here. See this one in the console log. This is L1, 2, L2, ABC, L3. This is just sample data. So dummy data set. You can see that here. So if I, oh shit. So yeah, that's what happening there. So I can change this data anywhere inside this routine, so that this always gets updated. Oh, and this news is also being uh, uh, returned by the server. So client got some news, client got news. So server got news. This is server news that is being read by the server. So if, for example, the client requests for some data, so I will just click this, get some data, and see that I will return this data here, get some data, some data rather. There you go, some data. So if you would look at the client, everything is just also straightforward. So we just have the containers for the contents, and we fill it up on the events that's being fired by the server here. So server got global data, server got some data, and this is all, they are synced. Whenever we update anything on the server, that would reflect on the client. So maybe next time the next thing I'm gonna do is write up a a an admin panel where I would change the data on the server, like this one, and then it would reflect on the global data um, div that is being displayed here. So I think that's the next thing that I'm gonna do to move forward on this project. So yeah, that's about it. And this is again the node server, and see, it's always pinging and it's always sync. So, and see here, those are the data that we sent as well. All right, so I guess that's about it. Thanks.